So, on this episode of Truth or Comfort, I had the privilege to interview or talk with Wendee Saunders. She's an ex real estate agent, entrepreneur, and she's got a phenomenal mindset. You'll want to take a listen to what she has to say. There's some great nuggets in there for you to pick up. Anyways, check it out. All right, everybody. Hi, John Troutman here. Welcome to Truth or Comfort. I'm here with Wendee Saunders, and I'm excited to have Wendee on. Now, typically, we go through a few different things, and most of our guests are real estate related, but we do a lot of stuff on mindset. We do a lot of stuff on entrepreneurship, so I found it very fitting. Plus, Wendee's does have some real estate in her background, her history. So I asked her to come and talk to you guys maybe about just different opportunities. And anyways, I appreciate you coming on today. Thank you.
Thank you, John. So great. Great to see you.
Yeah. Thank you. So you're in a business that a lot of people may, when they first hear network marketing, right? Is there a different word for it nowadays? It's still network marketing, right?
Network marketing, multi-level marketing, direct sales.
I love how forward she is about it. Don't you guys? Like, a lot of people dance around it, right? So being forward about it. How long have you been doing it?
It'll be 11 years in January.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's working.
Yeah, it's working.
So,
if you work something, it works.
This is true. So this is, in full disclosure, this is the only company. I did do network marketing as a kid, and it was a life-changing experience for me because it introduces you to entrepreneurship, mindset, everything. And your company specifically is the only company that is, in my opinion, that I've seen that actually has very compelling reasons to sign up, and to be a distributor, right? I'm going to let you, if we could, I'm going to ask a couple very specific things without getting into the company quite yet. Like, you did real estate before.
Yep, almost 20 years.
You were a realtor. And did you do investment properties or just real estate?
Nope, just real estate.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I could understand now.
Yeah.
So no, I'm just kidding. So you got tired of it. What, if you could, please, I'd love to hear, and they would love to hear your story of, maybe that transition and what this opportunity was that was so compelling that it had you shift out of real estate into something totally different.
Yeah. Well, doing real estate, I got into real estate in my 20s, against people saying, oh, you can't do that. It's too competitive. You're too young. You're competing with people who've been doing this forever. But I've always had a mindset of, well, if someone else could do it, I can do it. It's not like this is something that's never been done before.
Right.
And so you get around the right people, you talk to the people who are actually making money and figure out what they're doing and just copy and duplicate. So that's what I did in real estate. And, but when you're in real estate and you're making a ton of money in the old school way that I was doing it, just selling houses, we didn't have people like you back then, coaches and investors. I always say there's realtors that are realtors and there are realtors that are business people. I was a realtor and I was just selling homes. And when you're making a lot of money in real estate, it costs you a lot of time. I worked 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It was all consuming and trying to raise a family and keep those balls in the air all the time. And so one of my real estate clients had called me about the network marketing opportunity. And she said, are you open to looking at anything outside of real estate? And I was just at a place where I was just tired. I was like, okay, this is good for a season, not for a lifetime. I'm exhausted.
Right.
And so that's what I took a look at it. And I realized, if I'm going to work hard anyways, why wouldn't I work hard at something that would give me residual income?
Right.
Versus
cash
not.
flow.
Yeah, 100%
Residual, yes.
Cash flow. And that's not a conversation that anyone had ever had with me ever before. I never even heard the words.
It's interesting because a lot of the many mindsets are, I have to put X amount of time in to get paid this X for an hour of my time, right? So that's how they quantify it versus creating the residual income or having a different type of mindset. And sometimes it's just like when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. Like being open to, like you, being
Timing.
open to the opportunity to take a look at something versus being closed-minded. So kudos to you for doing that. And I imagine that same mindset that was like, find someone that's doing it and it successfully and duplicate their efforts and get what they have or what they got. So
Yeah. I had people when I started my network marketing business. Why would you do that? Why are you wasting your time? Same thing in real estate, right? Every industry is the exact same conversation.
right.
And at that time, it was a DVD that someone gave me to look at. And I looked at all these success stories and I was like, well, these are just regular people who figured it out. And so again, I came at it from a mindset. And so I never listened to people saying, you can't do it. Cause I thought, well, I don't understand that conversation, because why can't I do it? What's different about me
Right.
than the rest of these people? I understood that I had to grow, that I had to learn something, that I had to find a coach and a mentor, but I just never listened to that conversation. And I would tell anybody watching this, to have like Riki as a coach, and they have people that they've actually taken through the process. Well, it means you can do it. The key is you have to do it. So in my business now, in network marketing with ACN, in real estate, there's a lot of people that never sell a home.
Right.
There's a lot of people that don't make it in network marketing. It doesn't mean that the industry doesn't work.
Right. It
It's
means
just,
that they didn't.
yeah, and people don't give things time. You have to, it takes time to build a business.
Instant oatmeal. People want that instant. And just like any industry, you're touching on such good stuff because it's all accurate no matter what field. So you're in is, if you're building a business, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in network marketing, whatever the industry, you have to take the time and invest in it and invest in yourself. And so many people think, I've invested X amount of hours and I haven't seen anything produced yet. That's okay. Like you're laying, think about it like farming. You have to clear the field first and then, plant the seeds, if you will, water it, fertilize it, and then before you could harvest it.
Yeah.
People want to go straight to harvest.
Well, and you also have to be patient with yourself and get who you are when you show up to play the game.
Right.
There are people that come into my business. Well, they owned businesses before. They developed teams before. Maybe they'd done network marketing before. So now they have quicker success. And, I would say that comparison is the thief of joy, because if you start comparing yourself to someone, you're not that person. And so whatever, like in real estate investing, if you've never done it before, it's going to take a minute. So just be patient with, who am I when I started to play this game? What did I come to the table with?
Right.
Versus another guy came to the table with much more. That's why he scaled faster, just because he had a background or whatever it is. So people aren't patient with themselves because they're worried about what everyone else is doing.
Side note, there's a really good book called Startup Nation. It's about Israel and how they've documented, if you start a business in Israel, and they have military backgrounds, which we have college backgrounds, right? So they kind of compare the same. But what they figure is they get the same success or lack of success. What is it, like a 97% failure rate when someone starts a business for the first time. But on their second time, what they found is it's like I forget the numbers, and so if I say this, someone's going to correct me. But I'm going to give this, but it's might not be accurate. But then it's like they have a 30% chance or 25-30% chance of success on their second endeavor because they're figuring it out, and their third it jumps again. So business owners try to catch people between that second and third one, because if they could pull them in to work for them, they see that they're more like-minded and can contribute more. So to your point, obviously someone it's a mindset training, it's a skill training. It's, you have to rethink the way that you're looking at it versus and I don't mean this in a bad way, but you have an employee mindset and then you have an employer mindset or entrepreneur mindset. So they're different mindsets. In my experience, they have been. So I think when you're going into a new endeavor, you have to, like you said, you have to give yourself a second. Be easy. Be nice to yourself. Just go through the process. Just don't quit.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
Right.
Just don't quit.
Yeah. Everything takes time. All of it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're building a business, even if it's like some sort of residual. Let's talk about that. So you have residual products. What are
Mm-hmm.
they?
So we're a service-based company. So we have telecommunications, energy, basically essential services. So things like cell phone, internet, TV, gas, electricity,
So
credit card
renewable stuff
processing.
people use on a daily basis.
Yeah, renewable stuff, recession-proof stuff,
Go figure.
Yeah.
Like not proteins though. You
Yeah.
don't do protein.
No.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing wrong with that, but totally different.
It's
Totally different ball game, right?
No, you're right. There is nothing wrong with it. It's all the exact same kind of business. I just like the aspect of if you get someone's services, whether it's cell phone, internet, whatever, it's kind of like a set it and forget it.
Absolutely.
Like versus like, oh, John didn't order his chocolate protein this month. Let's call him, see why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your attrition rate is much different.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been doing this 11 years and you've expanded into other countries and like I mean, you already had an entrepreneur mindset. So tell me what it's done for you.
Well, I would say maybe I had an entrepreneur mindset and the fact that I had made a decision when I got in. The reason I got into real estate is because I was working a job making $27,000 a year. This is a long time ago.
Okay.
And I'm meeting friends and they're making $100,000 a year doing real estate. And I was like, well, this is dumb. I'm spending all these hours, 60 hours a week making nothing.
They're having coffee.
And so exactly. So that's what got me into real estate. But I don't know that I ever was an entrepreneur. I was still, I wasn't a business owner. When I was in real estate, I was not a business owner. I really was a realtor. So going into network marketing, I just wanted a different result in my life. And that was cash flow. That was timing money together. I wanted more freedom.
Right.
I just wanted, there was no, most things that you do, if you don't have cash flow, you have to, if you work 60 hours a week to make X amount of dollars, well, you have to keep working those 60 hours every single week to keep making those dollars. And so I wanted to put in the work and create more freedom.
Right.
And so when I got into ACN, probably one of the biggest things for me was the personal development. Because in real estate, I didn't have a mentor. Again, there weren't people like you that were coaching people. You know, I had some realtors around me, but there were no programs. There was no social media. There was nowhere to find this information unless one of your buddies happened to share it with you.
Right.
So I think the biggest thing was that personal development of, oh, there's a book about that. You know, like this is going to sound totally stupid, but I was like, oh, personal growth. Oh, it's a thing. Oh, like I could go read books on leadership and oh wow. Like they don't teach you that in school. No one's teaching you that. So that's probably been the biggest thing is the personal development, just being able to grow as a person. And I think the more you grow as a person, everything around you grows.
Right. They definitely go hand in hand. Right. And I want to address a couple things. One, let's just ask this. Did you go into it full time instantly? Did you kind of work your way into it full time?
No, definitely not full time because it's a business. You know, I definitely did not like make boatloads of money and, you know, and it's not.
Oh, you're like, you had to actually work for it.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh,
it actually,
sorry.
Yeah. You started. Yeah. It's,
I thought we were saying that you had to do that, but you had it differently.
Yeah,
okay. So you actually had to work
actually,
this. Okay.
Reality. It was reality. So no, I just worked it part-time. And because of the structure and the training that we had, I was able to kind of plug into that, if you will, and build it part-time. And in network marketing, it's a team effort. Right. And so I had people to help me, support me, whether I didn't have the time to do it or maybe the knowledge. So it was super part-time, probably the first almost 3 years.
Okay.
And then for me, I decided I wanted to make that transition into it being full-time. I don't know that I knew that in the beginning. I just saw a second stream of income. I saw something that made sense to fold into my real estate business. Every house that I was selling is setting up services. So I thought, well, I already give them the phone numbers to set up their utilities. Yeah. Why wouldn't I help them do that?
Yeah. Let me just dial this for you.
Yeah. You know, like that made business sense. Like,
You
why
just
would I
got
do
Carrie's attention, by the way, so
that?
she'll want to talk to you after. She's an agent, so
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
it does make sense. It's in the same vertical,
Yeah.
so why not? Like, yeah, who would have thought? Okay,
Well, you're
this is going to
creating
be full time,
transactions everywhere. You're not getting paid on them.
right? Yeah,
Right. So where can you create transactions that add value to your customer that you can also get paid on?
yeah.
Makes sense to me.
So, is there a time frame on the residual? Does it like last for a year? And is it
It's lifetime as long as
lifetime?
the customer pays the bill.
I have to pay the bill. I knew there was a secret
Yeah.
somewhere.
But these are the bills they will pay.
Yeah. This,
They'll let everything else go, but I'm sorry, you're not letting your cell phone go.
this,
Your electricity's going to work every month.
this is true. This is true.
Yeah.
So part-time to full-time, what
Mhm.
would be like a couple key things that you from a personal development piece, what's like the key thing or things that that have opened up for you that you've noticed when you sit there and reflect, like, this is where I was and this is where I am. What's the biggest change for you personally?
Probably the biggest change is it's self-awareness, meaning that it's going to sound kind of kooky, but is that I create everything around me
Mm,
by who I'm being
right.
in that space. So the great thing about that is when you get that it's your fault,
Right.
if something good happens or something bad happens, then life becomes easy
Right.
when you're responsible. So people have things happen to them, and I'm like, well, who's at the scene of every crime? You know, like,
So
but so
true.
when you can just finally get that, then life becomes easy, and then you can look at versus. I always say, like, what I learned and a huge breaking point or breakthrough point was instead of looking what's wrong, because we always want to beat ourselves up or this,
Mm,
that, and the other. Just look at what you can do better
right.
because you have control over everything. But if you just focus on what can you do better, then it's simple.
Yeah, where's the
Simple.
opportunity inside whatever it is that's happened, or looking at it differently? It doesn't sound kooky at all. I think everybody here listening, at least right now, I mean, if you're listening to it on the podcast, maybe it does, but I don't think that's the. Hopefully, you pick up what Wendee's putting down in a way that, wow, maybe things are not going the way that I want in life. But yeah, I like that. Who's at the scene of every crime? It's you.
Yeah.
So, but I think from an entrepreneurial standpoint, people that are in that space, or even like a spiritual growth, I think would look at that, and that's something once you show up for yourself
Mhm.
and you're accountable, then that makes total sense. If you're a victim and everything happens to you for a reason, then you're not ready to hear that. And maybe you are ready at this point to hear it, but it's something to sit on and to think about. If it's rubbing you wrong, you might want to actually take a deeper dive
Yeah.
into it.
A good
So,
question to ask is if someone said the exact same thing to someone else, would they have reacted the same way? And if the answer is no, then it's your issue. So figure out why.
right,
Why do I always perpetuate that?
right. Very, very good. Okay,
Use my headphones.
so yeah, we're
Let me fix.
technical difficulties, you guys. So the self-awareness, self-accountability, that's anything else that you would, I mean, that's huge. I think that's kind of the game changer
Mhm.
for anybody once they identify that and realize that.
Yeah, and I think the not giving up on what it is you want.
Right.
You know, never change the goal. You might have to change the path to get there, but most people change the goal and they give up. And so,
Why do you think that is? I mean, you must see a lot of people, and I'm
Mhm.
not saying that it's not any different, because you have some people that sign up and they kind of go through the motions, but they're not owning it,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. And then they see if shiny object syndrome is,
Yeah.
they see something over here, so they focus on that.
Mhm.
And then they can only focus on that for so long, and they focus on
Mhm.
something else. And it's like they're looking for that quick fix, that instant success, whatever it
Mhm.
is. And I don't think people realize it's about hard work and determination and showing up every day and being consistent. to me, I correlate a lot to like working out. Like you're not going to get in the shape that you want just overnight. In fact, I don't know if you ever get in the shape that you really want. It's just a work in progress. No different than business. It's just a work in progress, right? So
Yeah, and I think it's in our business we always say, what's your why? Why are you doing this? Because why you're doing something is going to keep you focused, because the reason people quit things is typically because their why is not strong enough. Like they're not really clear on what
how
it
do you
is they
teach them
want.
how do you teach them how to find their why? What do you do? Do you guys do something as a group, or do you like ask them
Well,
some I'm just curious.
yeah, I think it's what what is it that why are you doing this? You could do anything,
Right.
right? And so in my business, the reason why people do it is because they want residual income,
Right.
right? And so why do you want residual income? Well, because I want freedom. Great. Why do you want freedom? What are you going to be doing? So you have to visualize where you're going to be and who are the people that are going to be with you. What are you doing? What can't you do today? Like,
Right.
okay, so there's obviously something you don't have today that you want, and this is the vehicle for you to get it. So you have to have a clear picture. People don't have a clear picture of their goal, even in weight loss, right? You don't have a clear picture,
Right.
a clear picture of what it looks like, but the bigger thing is a clear picture of what will it feel like.
Right.
And what will, when I hit a position in our company and felt like I was up against the wall and I could not bust through. And again, I knew it's me. It's not you, it's me. So
Now,
what
why are you
is the
pointing at me?
deal? Yeah,
Why
it's
were
not
you
you,
thinking
it's
it was
me.
me?
I
What
know.
did I do?
Well,
No, but
but
it's it's true. I was just curious from like a business standpoint. Like you guys are a pretty big company. Like, kind of, do you must have events, right, that people
oh
could go
yeah,
through
yep,
for like mindset and all this, right?
yep,
Gosh, I'm kind of curious, like maybe off topic, like learning about some of that stuff, or
yeah,
off this podcast, like learning about some of that stuff that you guys do, because
yeah,
obviously you have to, and we do it too. We have to arm people because they're now going out against the masses, right?
yeah.
So, everybody, we had some phenomenal ladies in a group this weekend. I was talking to them, and they were great, and their husbands talked them out of the opportunity. And it's like, how horrible is that when you have friends and family, but that's who typically is your biggest critic,
Yep.
unfortunately, versus your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
And we see it over and over again. So trying to arm them with as much arsenal and kind of like, mental toughness, if you will, and some key things to maybe rebuttal what they're saying, but give them a different perspective. It's hard though. I remember as a kid, like I would say your dream space starts to shrink, right? And so as that dream space starts to shrink, like your confidence, self-worth, all that stuff starts to shrink. I think I had that entrepreneurial spirit too, but I think I had to go through enough corporate America type of stuff
Totally, yeah.
to get
That it was worth it.
I don't.
You know?
I love the people that I've worked with, and I was an account executive and then VP for Washington Mutual. I loved working with Washington Mutual. Maybe some of the key relationships I have or had, they weren't the regime that was left there when the everything fell apart. But I did like Keith Johnson, who was the president, who I got Truth or Comfort from. He gave that speech. Phenomenal people, though. Great relationships, smart people, and learning kind of that structure, and how to, I don't know, how to bite your tongue, I guess, and just fall in line a little bit too. You need I don't know. It's a natural rub, I guess, versus just being out there and being completely radical. All those can work. I just went through a different phase or a different way to get there.
Yeah. I think touching on what you said about people have all these people in their lives, like some of us have cheerleaders, then you have the group that doesn't want you to do it, all those things.
Yeah. Why do you say they don't want you to, or why do you
well,
feel?
I think in anything. So what I like to teach people is you have to, one, I wouldn't rebuttal anyone. People say, well, what do you say when someone says that? I'm like, I don't. I don't say anything, because either that's not who I'm looking for, or, I just love everybody where they're at, because if I start making people wrong, you're putting a lot of energy into something that is a lost cause. It's not in alignment with helping you build your business. So what I tell people is, listen, they're either commenting on what you're doing because they care about you and they want to protect you from getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They're either commenting on what you're doing because maybe they did something similar to this and they got bit in the ass and they don't want the same thing to happen to you, but they failed to tell you that story. So
Right.
you're seeing it as something's wrong with me. They're at me to not, they don't believe in me, when really it has to do with their own story. And then other people, they don't want to see you win, because if you win, then why are they losing? Now
Right.
you've shown a light on what they're not doing. So the key is just thank everyone for their opinion, appreciate them, look at it from a place of gratitude. Like, wow, I really appreciate that you care about me, that you did that research, or that you're telling me this. I appreciate it, but I'm going to go ahead and see if I can see this through,
Mm-hmm.
and then decide if you can't be around them for a while, don't be around them.
What's so what resonates for me when you say this and when you're talking about it is I don't think people realize those people will fall. And it's unfortunate because sometimes it's family, but those people will fall by the wayside because you're going to attract a different energy.
But they'll also come around. They'll be
Oh,
your
no, yeah.
biggest fan when things are working, right?
No, because what they say is like, remember I had your back
Oh,
and
yeah,
how positive I was.
exactly.
And you're like,
Exactly.
yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I also think if you could use that as a motivator, that's good too. Like
Mhm.
if someone doubts you, use that as fuel. You don't have to put it in their face later. You could actually thank them for it later. Like, hey,
Totally.
yeah,
Have an I told you so party,
yeah,
and give everyone a special colored invitation and say, if you got a gold invitation, stand up. I
Yeah.
want to toast you. It's because of you that
Yeah.
I'm actually up here today.
yeah.
Thank you
That's actually
for your non-support. Yeah, let it be a fire. Napoleon Hill has a great statement that he said, and I say it all the time. He says, failure is something that happens to you. Defeat is something you do to yourself.
Mm,
And
yeah.
and if you buy into other people's opinions, you have to be willing to buy into their lifestyle. And so if you have to just do what you want to do, but do it with love and grace and gratitude, and do it.
It's such a what you said was such a good point right there. And I'm just gonna kind of pivot a little bit more, but that is if you have to taking advice from people sometimes. You need to look at the source and who they are and where they're at in life, and is that where you want to be? Is that someone that you truly admire and want to take on their opinion? Like, especially if you're maybe easily influenced, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean maybe you haven't had enough successes and your confidence not quite there yet. Just strip back the layers a little bit
Mhm.
of that person and be like, okay, maybe this person's 20 years older. They have a similar job as you. Does it really matter, like, their opinion? And why would you own that opinion? Find somebody that has the success that you want and use their opinions, right? Or take maybe more equity in what they're saying versus, someone that you don't even respect them, right? But sometimes we may not respect the person, but we take on their opinions, if that makes sense. Don't own any of that. So
Yeah, we take it as the truth, or we make it mean something about us, versus it's all about being unemotional. In business, if you can keep the emotions out of it, things
Mhm.
are so much easier because you can just look at it for what it is.
right.
But we're emotional people, so we get our emotions wrapped up into it, and then we can't think straight.
So from that standpoint, you must hear a lot of no's, like people just not interested. Do you get a lot of that?
Sure, yeah, I
What
hear
do you
lots
do?
of yeses too.
Right.
So
Right. I'm just saying, okay.
But
So
yeah,
maybe I'm focusing on the wrong thing,
No,
but
that's
like,
okay.
so I imagine you hear more no's than you hear yeses
Mhm.
is all I was trying to get at. And how do you keep a positive mindset around that?
just maintaining a sorting attitude.
Yeah. You've been
Right.
doing it a while. So
Yeah.
you're like Teflon, like nothing's
Yeah.
getting through to you. You're like, okay, yeah, you're this,
Well, no
another one, but
no is a decision.
right.
It doesn't mean anything. It's, I do a training for my team, and I say, okay, if there's a waitress in a coffee shop and she's walking around asking people if they want coffee, and someone says no, she doesn't break down and cry and freak out, and my waitress days are over, that person's not interested in coffee.
Maybe
So
5 minutes later, they will be
that's
interested
exactly
in coffee.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Or she tries to convince them they need coffee, and then that's exhausting in itself.
Yeah.
So-
Don't convince about the
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah. It's timing. It's probably like you have clients come to you because it's their timing that they're ready for a coach or a real coach. We live in the world right now where there's all these people. I love the life coaches of the world, but they don't have a life. No offense, but like, so it's like people finally realize, like, okay, I have to go find the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you find that person and you hear their story, you realize that everything that you're going to go through, they've gone through.
Right.
So you can't get to the top of any business really without no's, whether you're looking for investors, you're looking for business partners. How many real estate deals do you have to go through maybe that don't work to get to the ones that do work?
Well,
So
let's try to minimize those.
Yeah.
Let's try to minimize those.
yeah. Well, not, yeah.
Yeah.
Not with a coach like you.
Yeah. Hey. So, all right. So we've touched on a lot of stuff. What if someone's watching this and they want to get hold of you and they want to know more about the opportunity and how it works? What do they do?
They could just find me on
Like
Instagram or
what's
or
your
Facebook.
handle?
Just Wendee Saunders, and it's Wendee with Wendee with 2 E's, Saunders.
Okay.
Saunders. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, this has been an honor to have you on. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you. It's
Right.
been fun.
It's great to see your business grow. I follow it online, and I love where your headspace is and all the positive stuff that you put out there, and you're encouraging people to do better and want more out of life. So that's always refreshing to see, and you're successful at it. So anybody that's looking for, supplemental income and maybe to change their mindset or expand it, in setting out the expectations, like, hey, whatever you want to put into it, you could get out of it. Look up Wendee, track her down. I would encourage you guys to, if that's, I think most people are looking for something like this. It just makes sense. So I appreciate you coming on today. Any final, I don't know if I'm going to get you in trouble for asking this question, but I'm going to ask it. And if we need to delete it, I will.
Yes.
So you guys have had, I would say, phenomenal success. Can I ask you how many Lamborghinis you guys have?
No, we don't
can't-
have any.
Okay.
No.
I can't ask you. Okay. So I'm not gonna ask the question. So, but I think we got the answer. Okay. Any final words that you want to leave with the group?
You know what?
listeners?
I just thanking you, because I feel the same way, and following you for a long time, and kind of was around before you started everything that you've started with Reiki, and I follow you as well. And I feel like the same thing, like your message, positivity, authenticity, that you're actually really helping people and you're doing what it is you're asking other people to do. And it's really inspiring. So I appreciate just even knowing you.
Wow,
because it's
that's
fun to watch.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, that's very flattering. So I appreciate that. And obviously I feel the same. So thanks again for coming on today.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys, another phenomenal episode of Truth or Comfort, tongue twister today. Anyways, until next time, take care.